The movie starts off in a depressing train station, Gringotts Bake looking place, but this opener was only to show us that this man was moving like light.
No, I can't laugh yet. I've got to hold it in.
Man was playing chess with people's lives. He walked into the sketchy black market hospital where broke people go to get their construction material BBL, pretending he needed a surgery done. He was an unsuspected victim. These thought they called it a lick, a human snack with special blood. Nah, he was a Jeffrey Dahmer cookie monster. After releasing his giggles, he popped up and begun his feast. It was a surf and turf. I don't know what this is, but he has a freaky ass tongue. Man was out here moving like Terry Crews and white chicks. And watching this movie again, I don't think I watched this movie as an adult. I truly don't know who this man is. So for the first time in the movie, we see Blade. And guess what he's doing? Of course, his favorite hobby, hawking down vampires. But that's not what I'm gonna talk about. Why is he showing out like this? He was right behind them and was like, let me show out real quick. And jumped up to wherever the hell these things are, continuing straight, just with a few more steps. Imagine they didn't stop. But Blade being Blade, instead of gunning them down up top, he wanted them to know he was up there because he could. And the two of them stood there like they were getting their photo taken as if it was picture day. These vampires are some booty, and I'm not talking treasure. Some of them escaped on bikes, while this man, this glad trash bag, burns his hands while sliding down the ladder, falling, stumble into a run. And what did Blade do? Jump from the window, landing like an Olympian, before spraying this man in the back like he was a roach. And look, the first shot did him in. He was out of there. Body turned into a visual representation of a date with Usher. But he didn't stop shooting. That's some hatred. This type of hatred will put a smile on Tobias's face, and he couldn't just put the guns away normally. Everything has to be done with style. But right here had me confused. The vampires were scot-free like Allison in the third season of Teen Wolf, but they can't spin it back for some reason. Blade stood there just cracking his neck. This is love for the job. I think he might love his job more than Buddy from Elf. I don't see him retiring from vampire hunting anytime soon. He took the challenge head on, took out his vampire ring, turned around dropping it. I think the showboating is getting worse. This is beyond what he did in the first movie by far. What are you doing this for? Stood back up and yeeted his vampire ring, hitting nothing but the air, like he was training Boys in the Hood when he was too scared to slide for Ricky. Man was doing the most extra shit to catch his weapon. Like, my guy, you missed, but I guess it's okay because you did it with style. Now Vampire Penguin tried to take Blade out with his bike, but only aided in him looking cold. Blade used that man as a flight of stairs before playing Matador with the other one, and his simple ass fell for it. My guy, you don't have to stay on the bike. You can get off and try running hands. I can tell just from this performance with the bikes, they had no plans. They just wanted to die. Blade sent this man flipping like a quarter on a coin toss, and the second man didn't learn. Charged at Blade again. This was Billy Madison of fight strategies. In his first mistake, challenging Blade instead of fleeing, because Blade started digging inside his Gabby Douglas bag, hitting a backflip then twirling midair to land behind his bag of ass. And he just kept driving like an Uber driver, just mad calm, like he doesn't have a certified demon behind him, palms just itching to kill vampires. Blade pulled out a piano wire like he was Agent 47. This man was gonna make sure he had a slew of weapons to handle vampires. Sword, gun, piano wire, it doesn't matter. Just look at the focus on his face, pure concentration and enjoyment as he turned this man's head into a 4th of July celebration. For a brief second, nigga probably thought he was Ghost Rider, but Blade can't be serious. Blowing kisses to his car mid-squabble. Take it easy. This was probably the same path that man of TLC took before he started quagmiring his car. But hold on, I didn't forget about this bum. Is he not a vampire? Why is he laying on the ground hurt? Setting Blade up from one of his favorite hobbies, torturing vampires for information. Was about to turn this man head into a skid mark if he didn't get to singing like a Disney princess. And as soon as Blade got the information he wanted, he was back to killing. But hey, at least he knocked before he started killing. Manners and shit. He damn near squad wiped him in 4 seconds. So he had to turn his aimbot off so he could have a little more of a challenge, letting one of them enjoy one last jog before taking a trip to the afterlife. But instead of escaping and starting a new life abroad, he waited for Blade, armed with a metal pipe. Bull this nigga. He didn't even seem convinced he could win as he swung the weapon. Blade handled this man with one hand and a kick with minimal focus. But what is Blade on in this movie? What is this?
What the hell is even that?
This nigga must have started doing the same thing that had Pookie dancing in New Jack City. Blade finished off this terrible NPC, setting his guts on fire like he ate Taco Bell, setting up for the second wave of garbage. Tell me why this man put his guns away and took out his blades. Why, you might ask? He wanted to do this. Again, you might want to ask why. Nigga, I'm in the same boat as you. I don't know. The vampire was fading away, polluting the air, but Blade was like, here, hold a spin kick. I can't. These vampires have to be more ass than the last movie. They saw the fatality that Blade just hit and rushed in. That's not the problem. NPCs love to die. We understand that. But why in the 4 letters of hell did this man barrel roll into the scene. Was this called for? Look, he is still crawling around on the floor like he was Velma looking for her glasses while his co-workers was getting the beats put on them. Now he was moving like he was a goalie off the disco powder. And he didn't even try to save his co-worker that was put down in front of him. Instead stood there like a good boy waiting for his spin kick, which only further added to his pre-existing CTE. The dude with the pipe came back in for another helping of a Blade beatdown, and beatdown he got. But look at this nigga. Blade was performing like he was listening to that one freestyle from Scary Movie, and he was still starstruck, amazed by Blade's performance like he was watching Michael Jackson live. And the way he was out there fighting, his dream was gonna come true real soon. VIP access. And Blade must have realized the same thing I did, because he dispatched his vampire fast as hell, but put a little extra spice on the beat and he gave this, I don't even know what to call him. That's how ass he was. Then Blade finally put him down, hopefully sending him to Kami's lookout. He needs to hit the lab. This was unacceptable, even for an NPC with no name. Blade saved Whistler. I forgot to mention it was a rescue mission for him. Then cured him and introduced him to his new version of him, Scud. Damn, it's been a minute since I watched it. I didn't even know this man from Walking Dead was in the movie. That's crazy. But the meet and greet was cut short as the vampires broke into their not so hidden hideout. The vampires were swinging around the base like their last name was Grayson, and they owned the bitch before dropping down mad quietly directly in front of an assault rifle. All that sneaking to be ass. I mean, it was a good thing for them that it was an ass off, and Whistler was out there shooting the air like he was aiming for Casper, then stood there like Namir in the booth waiting for a hit. I know you just got off ice, body probably atrophied, but come on, like Trey said, nigga, get your head in the game. This is the fucking finals. I mean, not really, the movie just started, but you know what I mean. Blade took center stage asking for the spotlight because it was squabble time, and he knew he had to show his crew how to really throw them shits. And Blade had his first dance partner, and she did this the entire way to him. Why? She must have thought the oxygen in the room was on Blade's side and tried to jump her. All she did was allow Blade to learn her swordsmanship and do this. One hand, sword still sheathed, performance, before overwhelming her. Had her relying on a game of footsies to gain the upper hand. Back into another exchange of swords. Now she sees she can't go hit for hit with a nigga named Blade and win. But she didn't change her plan of attack. I mean, she did throw a spin kick in there, but Blade is a spin kick demon. This man knows every angle you get hit a spin kick from. He was never gonna get caught lacking by a spin kick. Showed her his moveset was versatile. Out there looking like Black Neo before hitting the LeBron steps to avoid losing his legs. Like he was Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon.
That's too easy!
Had this man's eyes over there widening like, damn, this nigga can move. He might be what people refer to as him. Man tossed his weapon to the side. He knew he had to help her before she got cooked and served like breakfast at Denny's. Ass over easy. Because she was still over there trying to use a spin kick. I mean, he came in no better. He was like, no, not a spin kick. Try a side kick instead. Even with the element of surprise on his side, he still missed. Don't help if you're even more ass than I am. Now we both look worse. I never want to be a part of a 2-for-1 special. Blade tossed out one of his vampire rings that didn't do much. He must have felt it took some of his punch from his performance, because he just hit the most random ass backflip, I guess. Getting back into the exchange, dude came flying in for Blade's legs. Then wait, spun, dropped it low, and again aimed for Blade's legs. What is this nigga's problem with people's ability to walk? He was probably cheering when Gildar showed up and showed Nacho he lost a leg, because this man was playing whack-a-mole. Legs edition. Blade caught his sword with his legs, and he was like, here, taste my knee since you can't stop staring at my legs. Like he had a fetish. Knocked him down with a fist, then a kick to complete the combo mill. The girl came back in to play her part in the squabble, re-engaging with the sword fight. But this man pissed me off. He came behind Blade just swinging his sword like he was a fan. He was trying to cool him down, only to be sent away with a Sparta kick. The girl tagged back in and did this. And you know what Blade did? Something similar, like it was a gymnastic battle. He wanted her to know he could move like that as well. The fight turned into a PS2 cutscene, and Blade was working her, hitting her with a Sparta kick, striking her to the ground like a volleyball. But the battle ended in a draw? A draw? Blade was cooking. 1v2. Look, he flipped towards her because she couldn't stand. Don't make it seem like she had the hope of contending with my nigga Blade. So basically, they were sitting there by like a pure blood elder vampire asking for a truce with Blade because they had a bigger threat to deal with than each other, and they needed to team together to handle it. But she said this.
But now there's something else loose on the streets. Something worse than you.
Like, don't put disrespect on his name. There was nothing but a light exercise for a nigga like Blade. You don't know what a big threat is. Blade went and had the meeting with the vampire higher up, ready to blow himself and everyone up if it was a trap. So they introduced us to the overlord, and man was glistening like he found Diddy's secret stash of oil. Man looked like he was conceived but never birthed. Voldemort's uglier twin brother. It was almost disrespectful to us as an audience that they introduced us to him with no warning. Nigga had vein waves on top of his head. Anyway, they explain what's going on to Blade. They have to stop this man who has a new version of vampire herpes that gets you acting like Antonio Brown and is spreading faster than peanut butter on jelly. Blade meets the elite vampire team that's supposed to help him beat that we seen at the beginning of the movie, Nomak. They're called the Blood Pack. Oh man, very fitting name for them. We have Lighthammer, his girl, Verlaine, Den, Priest, Snowman, Chupa, and Reinhardt. You're telling me that these are the people that were gonna take our Blade? Like, no glazing. I don't see any threat on their roster, but maybe they might surprise me. You never know. Reinhardt, the second weakest looking, walked up to Blade trying to size him out. And I swear, this nigga has to be racist. Ask Blade if he can blush. What the f does that mean? But Blade does not take disrespect very well and gets to talking. Put out his stick and told Ito to make his move since he felt bold enough to step up to the plate. Then he did this just to slap him in the face and then did it again. And Reinhardt need new friends. Them niggas in the back gassing him up like they were his pit crew, leading to him getting up. In the back of his head tatted like Agent 47, but instead of a barcode, it was a bomb. Had Blade just dreamed about blowing his head up. Wait, is that it, man? Oh shit, it is. He might be the only one that can run hands with Blade. Let me take that laugh back on him. I didn't realize it was him. They begin their mission hunting down Nomak, going to a club. It's Blade. Of course we need a slow motion walk scene. They get inside the club, and some of the blood pack niggas hate vampires more than Blade. Well, the not pure kind. Talking about wiping their entire club out to make sure that none of them were Reapers. I mean, that's one way. I'm with it. But little do they know, the real party was beneath them. The freaky bandits was down there, posted up, waiting for their moment to shine. But off rip, can smell Blade. If I was Blade, I would have gotten the shivers. If anyone freaky looking says anything about me, my nigga senses start tingling. Instantly, I'm gone. For a brief moment, the movie started to take a turn into the horror genre. The Reapers were harassing everyone, even before fully making their appearance known. From messing with Scud outside, crawling around his van, to messing with this dude, standing there just asking for some attention to be drawn to him, then vanishing, straight into Houdini in front of Nissa, grabbing her by the lips like an angry parent. And she didn't fight back enough for my liking, like stomp your feet, or something, claw at his face. I mean, I wouldn't, look at him, but try something. Your hands are free. Grab one of those Glocks on your waist. This freaky Smeagol looking motherfucker jumped on the counter behind Lighthammer's, turning his head like he was preparing for a flake. Ew. But the cameraman's working overtime right now. We cut the camera over to Scud, who hopped up the van, 2 blicks drawn, ready to shoot like he was a director. And we have 4 of those things just standing in a cut, looking freaky, having the audacity to be standing in the rain like they already weren't slimy enough, then drop down to all 4s. Me personally, I would have dropped them guns and ran back inside the van. Call me a bitch if you want. See, he understands. Freaky plus scary equals overwhelming. Whose brain can handle that? We cut back inside, and Nissa was just standing there while Novak was just whispering sweet nothings into her ear until Blade walked in and ruined the moment. She used that as a chance to kick herself free, and Blade domed him, had that man back flipping into furniture like he was speeding. But that just had me scratching my head. That shot would have had a vampire sparking up like Wiz Khalifa. Random combustion like they live in the Fire Force verse. I could see why they went to Blade for help. Being honest, if I'm being truthful, the blood pack would be nothing but blood bags for the Reapers. I'm just being honest. And Blade's shot acted as a starter pistol for the shenanigans to begin. In the middle of the club, Chupa saved Reinhardt from getting touched by one of those things, turning around spraying bullets of his own. But Priest was over there getting exposed, bitch, if you will. Like, Priest, why'd you come? You knew you was trash. This is not a revelation that you didn't know. There's no way you wake up one day but this, damn, I'm really ass. You knew the whole time. Scud was out there opening pathways to his own danger. Why shoot out the window? At least wait until they break it. Offer yourself a false sense of security. Until then, Lighthammer was in the kitchen trying to put on a clinic. Had that thing net bent. The camera had the audacity to give us a behind shot. Like, my guy, we did not need it. Nigga looked like a rotten squash. And when I tell you me and Lighthammer wore the same expression, because what in the hell do the Elder have us fighting? I would have gave that thing the same treatment as a nail that won't go in. A table during lunch in the cafeteria. Just giving it a pure beating. Instead, he stood there while the thing straightened out his neck. They want to try and take his head off his shoulders. But he was only out there swinging strikes, doing damage to the pillar like his enemy was architecture. Reinhardt was spamming shotgun shells into the Reaper chest, doing minimal damage, while Snowman was just looking around for some action, until he see one of the Reapers pull off his hood and glasses. My guy, keep it on, please. Snowman, sword in hand, hit this man with a flying sidekick, ×2 edition. Can never let them know your next move. Had him laid out for a brief second before he popped back up and helped Snowman unsheath his sword. He was better off using his legs. Man did not do any damage with that sword until the Reaper caught the blade and his hands got slashed. He damn near hurt himself. That was more self-harm than anything. Reinhardt was hawking his Reaper down and had him on skates like Ed and Good Burger, while Chupa was doing more damage to the vampires while trying to get to the Reaper until he was finally able to season the thing's body. Everybody was putting in some work. You like to see it. Maybe they are an elite group, but it's always one that gotta piss you off. We look over at Priest, and he is getting stalled on, folded like origami. The Reapers had this man cosplaying as a paper plane, straight into some glass. This man Priest needed a prayer or something, so nothing they were doing was working. They were putting on a clinic, but the Reapers was eating everything. Look, I'm good. What can we do? Man gave himself a vasectomy just to escape, then started crawling up the wall backwards like a fucking roach. Like, are we fighting Reapers or demons? That's an Exorcist character. Scud was outside struggling to survive. Man was out there stressing, and I can't blame him. I would never be attended. I'm a human. We get back inside the club, and this one Reaper was on Priest's ass still. He knew this man was free eats. Assad tried to save Priest, but had his ass slid across the floor like a game of shuffleboard. And the Reaper was back to harassing Priest, twisting his hand around like a rag, wringing out the juice from his bones, creating a beat with his skull. This man did nothing but get his ass beat from the beginning, while on the other hand, we have Reinhardt walking down his Reaper. To be teaming with this level of ass makes me feel bad for them. Good help is hard to find for real. Then this happened. This nigga parted his lips like some legs, mouth wide, 360 degrees, tongue mad, meaty, and thick. Whoa. Tell me I'm lying. He was straight assaulting him with that tongue, laid him down to really get into the mood. Lighthammer soon joined Priest, and it was his own fault. Tell me why this man put down a weapon to play operation with the Reaper's body. What are you on? When did you get your PhD? Your doctorates? Do you even know what you're looking for? You want to touch something sticky like a child. Only for this thing to pop up and start digging his nails into his back like they just started their freaky role play. And then once again, we are greeted with this scene. That's another the blood pack in a body bag. But not yet. He was able to fight him off with some lead to the stomach. The Verlaine came in and helped chase it off by missing every shot. It's the thought that counts. But this nigga Lighthammer is ass. Not as bad as Priest, but you can still smell it from afar. Even Scud put a score on the board when he used the light to smite one of the Reapers. After that, Scud shared his findings about their weakness with Reinhardt, and he was able to put a point on the board as well. We cut back over to the buffet. That was Priest. But did we really need to see the Alaskan bullworm slithering around this thing's mouth? No. Assad, armed with his rifle and UV light, okay, was on the verge of putting a point on the board. Still, he let it escape. At this point, morning was coming, so the elite blood pack left Blade on Dolo. And guess what happened? Nomak called Blade out for an ISO. This nigga Nomak lost the plot. Talking about some, why trying to kill me? We have the same enemy. Listen, I'm trying to try something new. My voice acting skills is not really there yet. One day, I hope. That's like asking why taking antibiotic to give it an STD. That's the necessary steps to avoid a bigger problem. You guys are a lot more freaky than any vampire I have seen. This could be in a close second. But when the squabble starts, I'm not gonna lie. Nomak was walking on Blade. Literally, had his boot print signed the back of Blade's head. Look at Blade's face. There was no way he was gonna allow that level of disrespect to go without returning it tenfold. Then they get to mixing. Hands flying fast as hell. They were really out there boxing. How is Nomak moving like this? Are hands included with the affection? Could he bang like this? Blade still had his ass out there stumbling and bumbling. Easily at that. He might need to hit that lab again. Brush some of that ring rust off. But Nomak was no. He went back in guns of blades and tossed him every punch he had inside his arsenal. Even trying to sweep his leg. Sparred a kick on his back meat. That's all he wrote. Blade put out his new weapons that Scud made for him and got to opposing with them. Only to toss out one punch, then a spinning back fist that was blocked. Then, scoot closer. Blade cleared this man with a backflip, dodging his low kick. You're telling me this man was on a field hitting Blade level maneuvers? Even though Blade pulled out the fist weapons, he started spamming a barrage of kicks like he was Liu Kang. Had Nomak saying F that, and corkscrew spun into his grapple. Man did the most just to touch Blade's shoulders. Nigga must really want to dance with him. That only allowed Blade a face-to-face meeting with Nomak's guts, just shanking him up. Like, where did he learn to move like that? Wesley didn't get the Akon treatment until 2010. Man was moving like he knew he wasn't gonna file his taxes. He had to get his practice in early, and those weapons seemed like they were working. Had him down on his knees like Blade was his king. Body started bubbling, and then it stopped. Scud out here selling false advertisements. You promised me a gusher experience. That's not a gusher. If anything, it's a half-eaten egg roll that been sucked on. Nomak straight started bulldozering towards Blade, and what was he trying to do? Nigga started windmilling his arms, basically allowing himself to be hit with the stiffest spear like he was Speed. After landing on the ground, this man Blade breakdanced Nomak across the room. Had that man understand the life of a bird. Let's be honest, Nomak would have been cooked if he was a regular vampire. But Blade is an interesting one. Tell me why this man stood and watched Nomak hunt for a weapon like he was in Dora. Can you show me a viable weapon? And then started smiling when he found one. Nah, him and that nigga Aaron the plumber loves a good squabble. Why are you so happy to fight an antibiotic resistant STD? Jump straight into the mix, didn't want to waste a single second. Nomak was trying to talk and Blade was like,
"Shut up, bitch!"
He didn't want to hear any of that. And I can't lie, Blade walked himself into an ass whooping. Nomak was giving him no room to catch his breath. Drew blood, had him pinned down. It looked like it was raps for Blade until the sun reflected off his sword and scared Nomak away. But Blade, don't act like that. You got lucky. Man gonna fix his coat like he was about to win. He might have escaped, but you survived. Back at the hideout, Blade had to kill a priest who was turning into a reaper. But why is this nigga blaming Whistler? I get that he went missing from the roof, but my guy, he's supposed to be elite. I should be pissed that you brought trash with you. This was a squabble, not trash day. Whistler led the team to a dying reaper, and that's when they found out the virus would end up killing them if they don't feed. And we learned that this is somehow this ugly nigga's fault. But they do look similar, so it wasn't that much of a twist. Nissa started playing Operation with the Reaper's body, trying to find a weakness. The whole time, Lighthammer was over there oozing some green shit, and his girl is covering for him. You have to watch out for niggas like this. We all have to suffer because your boyfriend was ass enough to get turned into a surfing turf. We move on now. Everyone is gearing up for their hunt with the Reapers. Chapter 2. Don't want to get caught lacking again. So they start moving around the sewers looking for some Reapers to party with. And this is where their plan fell apart as fast as Blade put it together. Chupla and Reinhardt tried to kill Whistler, saying because they lost Priest, Blade had to lose a partner as well. But come on, you can't blame anyone for his performance. That was Priest being ass on his own, on Dolo. Whistler did not train this man. You should blame whoever trained him. But Whistler, with the brains of a chess grandmaster, thought ahead and pulled out their Reaper Axe body spray. That shit smelled so good it's irresistible to them because he needed backup, because he was getting the beats put to him. There was no surviving this. No, wait. We get Donnie, aka Mr. It Man, and they don't allow him to shine? They had a diamond in the movie and didn't polish it. Off-screen death is disrespectful. This should get off-screen killed. I thought when I seen this, they was gonna give us a treat. I blame her. She's the reason why we couldn't get a good squabble. Was it that good? I apologize. It seems I went too far. But both of them. We cut to Nissa, Assad, and Blade, and before I knew it, Assad was being gangbanged by aquatic reapers. I'll give her Nissa this. She's a real one. She tried to save Assad from his fate, but Blade told her to run. He was gonna use that moment to stunt, tossing out a light bomb that Scud made to up his KD. Took 4 of them in one slash. But we cut back to Chupa, and he was still beating on Whistler. No one could convince me that the elite blood pack was not just some random ass vampires the Elder found on the corner that happened to be pure blood. And Frost already showed us that pure bloods are ass, because this nigga picks up the Reaper Axe body spray and says, "What's this, old man? Trying to stink me to death?" Nissa clearly explained to him what it was and did. He's a dumbass. I mean, on a level of Ed. Had no working brain cells. It was a pure battle of air going on in his head. The Reaper started crawling down from the walls, a sight straight from a horror movie, and they started tearing him apart like the monkeys when you bring them food. And that's what he deserved. Clap it up for him. Now you get to see his best friend Priest. Reinhardt, Nissa, and Blade were surrounded by Reapers until Blade got the acting, taking out most of them with a light bomb and some bullets, making his way over to the bomb that Scud made. This man Scud really making everything. Niggas are supernatural Tony Starks. While Nissa and Reinhardt was making the Reapers seem like they were light work. What's going on? The Reapers were hard. How they surviving like this? Until the light bomb smited all that remained. Nomak was waiting in the cut until all his people died, only to show up to tell Whistler what's really happening and gave him a ring, but it was too late. Blade ran over there only caring about Nissa, who was up, then allowed her to taste some of his blood to heal. But he was too focused on helping her and on Nomak, who was just standing there watching in the cut. Because 2 movies in a row, he was dropped by some electricity from behind and kidnapped by, not so surprising, the Elder and his people. So basically, long story short, this ugly nigga was trying to make a new pure blood vampire with no weaknesses, using his DNA and other DNA. So they were going to be elite and hideous. Even trade-off, I guess? There's no way I want to look like that though. Even if it gave me super strong strength, I don't care. I could be stronger than Superman and Hawk combined. I'm not looking like him. But Reinhardt, man thinks he's like that. Blade already b***ed him earlier. Now he was using this moment to shine. Now that Blade's unarmed, to act like he was him? Okay. Then the big plot twist. Scud was the traitor. Who saw this coming? Like, he's happy to be a traitor for what? What did he earn from it? Besides almost joining Casper's family by the hands of his master's creation, the Reapers. Look how happy he was to show his slave marking. proud. This is a happy house if I ever seen one. But Blade, just like me, was not happy with his performance and showed him that he was not as smart as he thought he was when Blade used the dud of a bomb to blow him up. Then they were back with the stun guns, knocking him back unconscious to drain his blood, just like Deacon Frost did. Leave this man blood alone. But the cameraman moved the Nomak, attacking the place, and Reinhardt was still showing how ass he was, being beat down by a human, and an old one at that. No disrespect. Whistler found Blade and had the lawyer the Elder doing a smutty dance before he saved Blade. Then the funniest scene happened. Nomak was going crazy, snacking on like Lunchables, ripping through doors. Then the Elder was like, "You'll never make it in here." He surely didn't believe that after 2 seconds. His words have yet to dissipate before he was gone. Oh man. This Reinhardt never fails to piss me off. We have a raging homicidal cannibal running rampant, and he's still worried about Blade? And even after he thought he killed him, why is he walking in slow motion like everything isn't being ruined? Nomak is unstoppable. Your good is dead anyway. What's the performance for? But the pool of blood Blade fell in healed him up, and he was ready for another squabble. And I'm not gonna lie, once again, I was scratching my head. Why are you guys here to fight Blade? Your leader is dying. Go help him. They're like, I'd rather fight Blade. Okay, I guess choose the way you die. Blade was just embarrassing the NPCs, but why are there more of them here to fight Blade than was there to help the Elder? After handling the light work, I'm certain they were all humans. Had Blade out there performing wrestling moves while staring down Reinhardt. It was his turn to step up, but he was ass. He did nothing. Had the sword stolen from him after being overpowered, then sliced in half like a grilled cheese sandwich on a cold Wednesday morning. That's it? There was not one elite member of that squad. Not one. So we move on to the final fight after Nomak killed the Elder, his father, bit his sister, which was a mistake. Blade was hitting her with a slow Mac. He was working slowly to achieve his goals, and Nomak went and ruined it. Put his nasty ass tongue on her, had Blade instantly turn into a PS2 character, then served him with a back heel kick. See? Blade had to start off on high heat. He pissed him off. Blade was playing the slow game with Nissa. Couldn't really shine for real, but Nomak is disrespectful. Bit Blade's girl, then broke his sword. Like damn, that's a treasure. Been with us since the first movie. But no, this mutant crackhead's gonna break it. After freeing the sword from his body, he ran at Blade, and Blade was like, bet, let's do that, and started throwing the moment they made contact with each other, kicking out Norton's legs from underneath him, taking him down to his knees. But Nomak was like, nah, come down here too. Then they did this. They were really out here fighting like Disney characters for a moment, from high level intensity to this. Nomak must have felt himself slipping with that performance, because he started hitting Blade with some mean ones to the face. Pure hatred behind each swing, like Blade was the one that bit his girl. Until he slipped the first hit, it was his turn to start the punishment. Flying elbow, pushed him off, sidekick, had him turn the other way like he heard a noise from across the room. But then he started spinning like he was Britney Spears. What I want to talk shit, I do, but look at what he did to Blade. Had his glasses fighting to stay on his face as this man did inverted breaststrokes mid-air. Don't get me wrong, the landing was cool, but we saw what happened. There is no way I can forget that. Nah, Blade was out there doing anything to try to reclaim some of his lost grace. Hit a random ass barrel roll into a random ass kick. Look what's happening. Hit my man Blade up like he was Melvin. Swung his body to the side, real deal ragdolling him. Blade fed him an elbow trying to get free. Had him leaning back like it was 2004. Blade thought this was his moment to shine and try to utilize a shoulder toss. Entire time, Nomak had to reverse in his back pocket, and it was not getting any better for him. Had him by the vest like he was getting ready to dog walk him, and decided against it and yeeted him into a PS2 character. Nissa, I know you got bit, but help a nigga out, please. Look, Nomak knew he was cooking on high heat. Man was out there moving like he was playing Def Jam, hitting a flying elbow drop. And you know the A-Town stomp. I like to refer to it a lot. Peep the hang time. Man was about to end Blade's entire career with an elevator stomp. Something new. Now Blade's out there getting hawked down. Then his back blown out. Listen, you hate to see your idols go out like this. Wipe your eyes, it's okay. The movie's called Blade. He can't go out like this. He started doing anything and everything to escape. Fingers in the eye sockets. Nothing was off limit. This masterful combo, and it seemed like he kept the receipt from earlier and was able to return the shoulder toss he received. Locked him in the armbar and gave him a break like a Kit Kat. But Nomak was not done. He slipped from Blade's grasp and had him out there looking confused, just to straddle his back like he was one of them horses outside of a store. Where did he put the quarter? Then he grabbed Blade by the dome, all 5 fingers gripping his head like a basketball, and he was feeling disrespectful. Fixed his arm, they hit him with his version of the people's elbow, the creeper's elbow. Had Blade relying on some stripper movements to avoid being fused with the floor. Hey, do I hear the pilot clicking once again? Blade kicked this man into a blade and then started spamming his favorite kick until Nomak grabbed his leg and yeeted him across the mat once again. Every time he turns the heat on, Nomak is right there with a gas bill he can't afford. Man started trying to use his environment to beat Blade. Knuckles' part is sore from the ass whooping he was giving him. Nomak was done with the appetizers and was ready for the main course, but Blade stopped his hungry ass with a few headbutts, twirled him around like it was salsa time, then stabbed him in the side to the middle of his chest before Nomak finished himself off to stop the pain. Blade, don't get up like this. You did win, air quotes, but you was getting cooked almost the entire time. The movie ends with Blade bringing Nissa outside to see the sun one last time. Or the first time. It might be the first time. That brings us to the end. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, take care. Well, actually, he did go back and kill that penguin looking vampire. He did do that.